a friend of mine, talking to her and just helping her heal her own heartbreak. While I was there, myself, my heart shattered, broken into pieces, and I was teaching healing but secretly drowning in my own pain. So I have discovered three things that I have been using to help me go through the pain and heal. I know that they will be helpful to you, and that is what I want us to talk about today. A very beautiful souls. My name is Mary Mikhail Ndomo. I am a certified psychologist, but today I'm showing up as simply as a woman who is hurting and in a place of recovery. Because if you're here, I know you're not just sad. You're in that place where people expect you to be over it, whatever it is that is, but your heart is still bleeding. This is a video that is not doing a how to move on video. It is how do you breathe? How do you survive? And how do you soften while you're still hurting? So let's go through the three things that I am going to talk about and let's see if they will make a difference. The first thing is honor the wounds while tending to them. This is the first thing that I think people should embrace. Once you admit that by the way I am hurting, it actually makes it makes your brain have that actualization that by the way there's something that I have to deal with, and this is the situation. It is here. It is not something that I am making up, it is there. And then while you now come to the realization that there is a problem, then you continue to tend it. But if you don't agree and you don't tell yourself that there's a problem, then you will not see the need of you dealing with the wound. A lot of advices we hear is talking about move on, let it go, be strong. But everyone that is in that place of hurting knows that doing all that is very difficult. It is like telling someone who has broken their leg, wake up and continue running and just ignore the pain. But that's not the real reality of life. Just because the scars are not physical does not mean that the scars are not there. So you don't wake up with a smile and force yourself to smile, because if you're not in that place, if it is not well in the inside, you will be numb. You won't have feelings. You will be heavy. You will be angry. And that is not what we want. We don't want you to fake positivity. We want you to be positive for sure. So you need to admit that by the way, this is something that I am dealing with, so that in your alone time, you won't be more alone. You will know that I am working towards something, and this is what I actually am feeling. When the feeling is tangible, when you know that by the way this thing hurts, it is tangible, you know how much it hurts, it is so easy for you to say, but because it hurts this much, I can start doing 1, 2, 3 things to make it feel better. So do not ignore your pain. Honoring the wounds and tending to it is a very important thing. This habit is called daily wound check. Sit down, ask yourself questions, and you can do any time of day depending on how your schedule is, and ask yourself, the pain I am feeling, how will it show up today, and what can I do to prevent it from showing up, or when it shows up, what can I do to deal with it. The other question is, what does this heart need from me right now? And whatever it needs from you, make sure that you give yourself. If you need time, give yourself time. If you need some moments alone, some minutes alone, give yourself those moments. What would compassion look like for myself today? And then once you figure all that out, then you start working on it. In psychology, we call it emotional validation, where you actually allow your feelings to be felt, where your feelings aren't your weakness, they are data, as I usually say. So suppressing emotions drains more of your energy than acknowledging them and acknowledging that they're there and now learning how to deal with them. So take some minutes, see the pain, leave it, don't leave it alone. Have the permission to feel without fixing. Sometimes it is good just to feel bad, and just tell yourself, Aki, this thing hurt, and then be in that hurt. If you need to cry, cry, because that is another way. That is where now healing begins. The other thing you need to do is create micro moments of safety. Micro moments of safety is the moment of calm that reminds you that not everything is broken. Things are not going okay everywhere, but at least I am okay. I am feeling fine. When I don't believe probably in love again, but I believe in the silence of one particular place like my prayer closet. So go there and feel safe. You might not trust everybody, but you can actually look for someone that you can trust, then talk to that particular person. It might be the tiny acts that helps you rewind your mind, and every small moment of safety helps the body to breathe again, and that is what we want. The other thing, how do you create your safety menu? Your safety menu can be created in so many ways. It is a soft spot that you get in your home when you come in and you are like, when I sit there, I am at peace. It might be a worship playlist that you have that you play when by the way things are getting thick. It might be a voice note that someone sent you, or you ask them to send because you trust this person and it helps you and you trust that particular person. It might be a scripture that speaks to you. It might be a smell, a routine that you have, or a memory that calms your system. So all those things are things, if you have one or others, you use them intentionally, especially when the pain flares up. So every moment the pain comes, you think about those things. You're not avoiding the pain, by the way. What you're doing is creating space to survive the pain. Because I know that there are people who, when they feel pain, go to panic attacks. When they go through something, they can even get heart attacks. And because we don't want you to have that extreme, because the pain is real, and we have talked as our first step, we acknowledge the pain. Once you acknowledge the pain, it is so hurtful. So when it shows up, you need to create space to survive it. The third, which is the most practical thing, is practice parallel processing. Processing means that you can still feel the pain and heal at the same time. So it is liberating yourself with truths. You can actually be healing and still be hurting. This is when you say that I can celebrate my progress and still feel pain. It is when you trust the journey and still be scared. It is when you smile with hope and still carry grief. Those things can happen at the same time. In psychology, we call it dialectical thinking, holding two seemingly opposite truths at the same time. This ability is a sign of emotional maturity and not confusion. So, how do we practice this? We practice it in this way. It is, I am healing and crying. It is not, I am healing but crying. So you replace the but with and. So instead of having two conflicting emotions, you have two emotions at a time paralleling each other. So yes, I am healing, but I still cry because the process isn't easy. Instead of saying I am healing but crying, because what you're doing is putting all these things apart, yet they are happening at the same time. Okay, so it is, I want to trust again and I'm scared, instead of I want to trust again but I'm scared. Because when you put a but, then that will restrict you from now loving people, trusting people again because you're scared. But you say, I want to trust again and I'm scared, it actually gives you the oomph to do a particular thing, because it is, I want to and I can do it while I am still scared. So whatever it is that you are going through, the emotions that you are going through, the emotions of life as they are going through, is that you can do this and another thing at the same time, and that helps you even in your healing process. This simple change softens shame and honors your complexity as a human being. You are not one thing, you are many truths at the same time. So how do you prepare yourself for the waves that come? And listen, just when you think I am finally coming out of this thing, that is when from nowhere sadness hits you while you are busy doing something else, and you start remembering what you are trying to to avoid or to conclude. When you have just said, okay, I have overcome this thing, while you're brushing your teeth and minding your own business, that is when that thing comes again. That pain just hits you, and it hits you differently. And you're there wondering, say, I've worked on myself. I thought I overcame this thing. But that doesn't mean that you're broken, by the way. It means you're human, because as a human being, these things will keep flooding you. Healing is not a straightforward, it's not a straight line. It is a rhythm, it is a beat, it is a dance, it is a wave. And every time it hits and it hits differently. You get stronger every time. So you need to keep on standing again. When it hits you, stand up again. When it hits you, stand up again. And for you to stand up again, breathe through the pain. Anchor yourself with, of course, the safety tools we talked about. If it is your music, if it is a scripture, if it is prayer, if it is whatever it is that you do. If it is watching a movie, anchor yourself in your safety tools while you breathe through it. The other thing is, remind yourself that this is a wave and it is not your entire ocean. In the beginning, I talked about owning and honoring your wounds and tending to them, because you know that by the way, this is an issue for me. When you remind yourself that this is just part of my complex self, it is not the whole thing about me. Pain is one of those things that I'm going through. Trust issue is one of those things that I'm going through, but it is not the entirety of my emotions. That actually helps you know that by the way, there are things that are working, there are things that are going on in your life that are positive, and the pain that you're feeling is not what will discourage you from being a whole human being. Your scars are not to be something to be ashamed of. They are evidence that you survived. Have you ever seen people who come and tell you testimonies, and for them to prove that by the way this thing happened, they show you their scars? Jesus was one of those people who did that exceptionally well. When someone was doubting them because they were doubting Thomas was there, doubting that he's the Messiah, he showed him his wounds on his hands and his legs, because we could see the holes that were created by the nails that he endured on the cross. So sometimes the things that you go through, those scars, don't be afraid of them, don't be ashamed of them. They are evidence that you survived whatever it is, the challenge that you are going through. Sis, hurting is a holy work. It is not something you should be ashamed about. It takes courage, by the way, for you to overcome. Yani, and most of the people don't realize that healing is quiet, it is lonely, and it is scared. You are just in that place of being scared because you don't even know if you have the strength and the capacity to overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with. And all you can do, and every energy and effort you put, sometimes you feel is not working, but every day you breathe through it, you grow in it, and you become better. So every time you feel pain, you are not weak, you are rebuilding. And I love people that rebuild. So you can start by doing your breathing exercises. You can take that journal entry. You can take a moment to yourself and choose grace instead of bitterness, and say, you know what, I am working through the process. So I want you to do something. Pick one thing of the three that you can do, and do them well. Is it the wound check? Do you need to confirm? By the way, there's a problem here. Honor the wounds. Do you need to do safety menus? Look at what actually, when I feel bad, I need to do that will help me through the process. What else are you doing? Are you doing parallel processing, where you say, but by the way, I am healing and I'm still going through. I am this and the other at the same time, because nothing is lost. Then lastly, comment on the comment section. I will be there rooting for you and speaking with you so that you can overcome what it is that you're going through. This channel is a soft landing place for every woman, every man, everyone that is learning to feel, to heal, and to rise. So you can always feel safe in this particular space. Comment down below. We will love on you. We will walk you through the journey, and I know that you will overcome. Until next time, keep breathing, keep choosing softness, and remember, you can heal and still be hurting at the same time, and that is okay. See you guys. Mwah.